Bonjour and welcome to Metrotrans Academy. Today we're going to dive into the differences between Swiss French and Metropolitan French or France French, and we'll see if, as an Italian, it's easier for me to understand Swiss French when compared to me listening to Parisian French, and I've got an episode for that. Here is the thumbnail, link in the description. Let's go.
Ce que vous voyez derrière moi, c'est la vue de Lausanne. Aujourd'hui, cet épisode d'Easy French se consacre aux expressions de Suisse que nous, en France, nous n'avons pas. Voilà, c'est parti.
Okay, so the first thing I understood, as usual, French is one of those languages that for an Italian sometimes you understand, sometimes you don't. The one thing I did understand, though, is that she is French, and she's in Switzerland, and she's going to interview people to see if there are expressions, because I mean, expression, let's see, I can get that. So we're mostly going to focus on how people speak, the interviewed speak, rather than the interviewer for this first video. Let's go.
Alors, est-ce que tu pourrais nous donner une petite expression suisse ?
Oui, alors on aime bien utiliser le monstre. Il fait monstre chaud aujourd'hui, il fait pire chaud.
Ça veut dire ?
Ça veut dire qu'il fait très 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 chaud. Et sinon, bah,
Okay, so I understood his question. I didn't understand the word, the actual Swiss expression, but then she explained that it's the way to say when it's really, really hot. So the expression itself, couldn't get it. Also, my gosh, she's got some strong R's, like I can't even do it. But yeah, let's continue.
Royer quoi, de venir ici.
Royer, c'est quoi alors ?
Royer, t'es un peu fou quoi.
Ok.
Est-ce que vous connaissez des expressions typiquement suisses ?
Alors, ça fait pas longtemps que je bosse dans le canton de Vaud et mes collègues vaudois ont eu le plaisir de me faire découvrir leur magnifique petit patois. Faut savoir que c'est un patois qui peut être qualifié d'un peu misogyne. Ils ont des jolis termes pour désigner les femmes.
C'est-à-dire ?
Okay, so I understood a bit more. So it seems like if he does have, of course, I'm not trained enough to understand if there is a difference between the way they speak, regardless of the actual expressions, when it comes to the accent. But his accent doesn't seem to bother me, in the sense that the words I'm not understanding are words I probably wouldn't have understood even if they were spoken by a Parisian French. Whenever the interviewer asks something, I understand it. Like, once again, I understood the whole sentence. Then she asked him, again, about these expressions, and he said that they have some cute words to talk about girls, women. I believe that's what he said. So let's see if I understand these curious words.
De riantes expressions comme une feignole ou une bedôme ou une gueuillup qui sont assez chantants et assez péjoratifs. Et...
En quoi ?
Okay, so I didn't understand the three expressions he used. I only understood that it seems like they have a pejorative nature, but then again, pejoratif is something you can understand because you can understand it even as an English speaker if you have no training in French in that case. Pejorativi in Italian, pretty much the same. Let's continue.
En quoi est-ce péjoratif ?
Parce que ça va toujours désigner une femme qui est pas très intelligente ou qui est un peu, qui est disons une vertu douteuse.
Donc un petit peu comme si on disait une blonde, un peu en français.
So I'm having some trouble understanding the explanation. He's saying, well, so she's asking why, in what way is it pejorative? And he's saying, well, because it désigne, I think, no, it doesn't mean designs in English. It describes, maybe it's a good way to say it, a woman who, no idea. The whole explanation is gone. I just understood the premise to the explanation there.
Français ou une nymphomane ?
Ce serait plutôt une blonde ou une
fille facile ?
Voilà, exactement.
Une fille de joie ?
Carrément.
T'as où les vaches ? Ça veut dire où est-ce que...
Exactement, clairement, I understand that. Accent or not, I understand those words, I recognize them because esattamente, chiaramente, exactement, clairement, you can recognize them.
Que t'habites, hein, mais c'est pas très utilisé maintenant. T'as où les vaches ?
Vous l'utilisez dans quel cas ?
Dans le cas où on est dans un petit village comme ça et c'est des gens que tout le monde se connaît et puis à ce moment-là il y a beaucoup de paysans et puis du coup t'as où les vaches, voilà.
Alors prendre un singe et rallumer le sapin.
Alors qu'est-ce que ça veut dire ?
Prendre un singe, c'est se bourrer la gueule puis rallumer le sapin, c'est le lendemain de cuite quand on recommence à boire.
Juste le lendemain, genre le matin ou le soir ?
Le matin, le soir, ça dépend. C'est quand on recommence à boire.
So the only thing I understood, he said something. So I didn't understand what he said at first. Then the interviewer asked, but do you use it in the morning or in the evening? And then he said, morning, evening, it doesn't matter. So from context, I could understand that probably it's some kind of like an alternative to good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I don't know. So please let me know if I'm completely wrong or if I'm picking up something. So far, it seems like these specific Swiss expressions I don't understand. But I don't seem to have a problem understanding part of the explanations, and the things that I don't understand I probably wouldn't have understood even if they were spoken in full-on metropolitan Parisian French. So again, there are some things that sound similarly. I know that one of the main differences when it comes to Swiss French and metropolitan French is the way they pronounce numbers and the way they say numbers. So how about we check that one and see what exactly we mean and which one would be easier for an Italian to understand, which system.
Let's begin our journey and explore the Swiss French numbers from 1 to 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is 10.
Okay, so far, of course, the numbers from 1 to 10, not really a problem. I think anyone knows those. And again, if you speak a Romansh language, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you go into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, they're not 10, 10, 7, 7, 5, 5, maybe that one is the less similar. 1 becomes 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just trying to remember by memory in other languages as well, but I think numbers from 1 to 10 are not a big deal, whether it be with a Swiss accent or whether it be with a Parisian accent. But check this one out.
80 is called 80, 81, 82.
So 80, as you can see, is 80. 80. So basically you have 8, 8, and then you add tant, 80. In Italian that would be 80. So I absolutely recognize this. In Parisian French instead it becomes 80, which means 4 times 20, because 20 plus 20 40 plus 20 60 plus 20 80. And that makes it, oh gosh, that makes it insane. With zero training, if you hear 80, 90, to say 4 times 20 plus 10, which means 90, that's how the French in France say the numbers. As you can see, instead, Swiss French just does it like any other Romance language, just have one word for it. 80 is 80. Let's see how they do 90. So again, in Parisian French, 90, probably mispronounced, apologize for that. And let's go.
86, 87, 88, 89, 90 is called 90.
90. So, numbers in Swiss French, absolutely a million times easier for an Italian speaker than numbers in Parisian French or Metropolitan. Well, let's continue our tour and let's see if we can understand a bit more of Swiss French.
Ici, on se balade. Ici, nous sommes à Lausanne. Bienvenue à Lausanne. Vous habitez à Lausanne ?
Oui.
C'est la première fois pour nous qu'on va à Lausanne aujourd'hui et on aimerait savoir un peu plus de choses sur cette ville. Qu'est-ce que vous pouvez nous dire ?
Alors, c'est d'abord la capitale olympique, avec un superbe musée qui est sur les quais d'Ouchy, à côté du Beau Rivage Palace. Ensuite, vous avez d'autres.
So I didn't understand the last part, but I understood everything else so far. I understood the beginning where she said it's the first time that we come here. Given, when I say that I understood everything she said, it's also because I know a few words. Like, la première fois, I know that it means the first time, but an Italian with no training wouldn't recognize the word fois to mean volta in Italian. So I am understanding her and I'm understanding him a little bit, so keep that in mind.
Les établissements olympiques qui sont dispersés en ville, mais il y a plein de petites animations qui se font au bord du lac tout l'été, plein de festivals qui sont dans la région de Lausanne, mais pas forcément à Lausanne.
Alors,
Well, of course, he's talking about the festival that they have in this region, but the rest I'm missing. Again, region, région, regione, sounds like it.
alors, la ville de Lausanne, qu'est-ce que je peux en dire? C'est une belle ville historique déjà. Je pense qu'il y a toute une
C'est une belle ville historique. It's a nice historical city.
partie historique qui est intéressante dans cette ville. Il y a aussi beaucoup
There are historical parts, packed. You can recognize that are interesting in this city.
d'activités avec la jeunesse. Évidemment, c'est une ville estudiantine, d'autant plus
He said that there are a lot of activities, but then I missed the rest because it must be a little too different from Italian. But activité, I can recognize attività in Italian.
d'autant plus avec L'hôpital aussi, qui est aussi un hôpital étudiantin, donc il y a beaucoup de soirées, beaucoup de vie nocturne. Une belle ville.
Beaucoup de vie nocturne is a lot of nightlife. But what he said before that, I missed completely. So yeah. But the accent doesn't seem to be a problem for me. How different is the accent? If you're a French-speaking native, how different is the accent of this guy who just spoke now from like a metropolitan French, Parisian accent? I'm interested to know.
Avec l'hôpital aussi, qui est aussi un hôpital étudiantin.
Multiculturel, multiculturale in Italian, absolutely recognizable. All right, so so far in my experience with a little bit of Swiss French, it seems like that when they speak without using expressions that are too local, I'm understanding them the same way I would understand the Parisian French. I'm having some trouble with the specific expressions in Swiss French. So I don't know if that would always be the case. I would need a little bit more of data to really have a conclusive result for that. But then again, with the numbers, it's a lot easier for me as an Italian to understand them in the Swiss French version. Okay, so I hope that you found this one interesting, and I will of course keep making more. I'm thinking tomorrow I could do Sardinian, and then maybe the day after I could do Mexican Spanish. Whatever you like, let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for joining Metatrons Academy.